What is up, everyone? Mars here, bringing you guys the news in the flash. Let's get right into it, and right off the bat, I want to tell you guys that this is going to be a long-ass episode. Before we get into the first story, though, I do have to say that if you are one of those people that are blaming YouTube for what happened to them, then please leave. Like, you have no place on my channel. As a content creator, it breaks my heart that this happened to YouTube. This site has been my home for better or worse. I don't always agree with what they do or the restrictions that they put into place or the many other bizarre things that they try to do in order to appease their advertiser overlords. But this place has given me an outlet to something that has been my passion for many years. And I don't want to see these people getting hurt. I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. So my heart goes out to everyone that was hurt from this shooting. And the first and most important story of today is, of course, the San Bruno, California shooting, when a 39-year-old woman went to the YouTube headquarters on Tuesday and shot up the place, leaving a 36-year-old man in critical condition, a 32-year-old woman in serious condition, and a 27-year-old woman in fair condition before the shooter turned the gun, a 9mm handgun, on herself and took her own life. No one at this point knows exactly where she got the gun, and luckily at this point both the women have been cleared to go home. Now, it was originally reported that this might have been an act of domestic or workplace violence with a shooter targeting her possible boyfriend, but police said that there is no evidence that the shooter knew the victims of the shooting or that any individuals were specifically targeted. Authorities have been, however, looking into the shooter's website, which apparently shows that the woman was complaining about YouTube. She claims that YouTube was filtering her channel, keeping her from getting views, and demonetizing her videos. The account that was linked to the webpage had actually been deactivated due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy against spam, deceptive practices, and misleading content. The shooter's father had also stated that his daughter had been venting to the family about the fact that YouTube had stopped compensating her for her videos. Her father also says that the family had contacted police to report that her daughter had gone missing on Monday and wasn't answering phone calls for 2 days, and that she might have gone to YouTube because that she hated the company. Police in Mountain View, California actually spotted the woman sleeping in her car in a parking lot and notified the family because, you know, that's completely normal. The father and brother reportedly warned the police that she might do something due to her anger at the company, but the Mountain View police said that they had no indication that she might commit a violent act against them. That's pretty much where we are with this whole thing. There are a number of other little details that are here and there throughout, but I will leave a number of links down below if you guys want to check it out below. Once again, my heart goes out to all of the people that were injured from this. And I do think that this story is important. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of strange details of this. I think it's clear to say that this woman had some sort of mental illness going on. I mean, I feel bad with this whole situation. I don't feel bad for her in particular, but I feel bad about the whole situation. But with that being said, if you guys do want to learn more, once again, there's going to be a ton of links down below for you guys to check out. Let's move on to our next big story, and that's over Live Nation, who is currently in some hot water with the Department of Justice, who is reportedly investigating Live Nation for antitrust violations in the marketplace. Now, for those of you who don't know, back in 2010, there was a merge between Live Nation and Ticketmaster, who was approved by Justice Department. A lot of people were definitely not happy about this because they feared that this merge between Live Nation being the biggest concert promoter in the world and Ticketmaster being the leading ticket provider would create this industrial behemoth that would have the capabilities of basically crippling competition in the ticket industry. Federal officials like Assistant Attorney General Christine A. Varney went out to say that this wouldn't be an issue, pointing to a consent decree that was negotiated as part of the merger approval. Its objective was simple: boost and enable competition and block monopolistic behaviors from Live Nation. But, you know, since when has our government ever really been able to do anything right? Live Nation at this point is basically acts as this all-in-one concert-going experience, with them being able to secure the biggest acts by offering them large percentage of ticket revenue and also large advances. On top of that, Live Nation is also currently managing over 500 bands, operating some 200 venues, promoting over 330,000 shows around the world last year, including large festivals like Lollapalooza and Bonnaroo. Plus, let's not forget that Ticketmaster is still ticketing about 80% of the top 100 arenas in the U.S. All of this has made Live Nation the target of many music fan criticism for the skyrocketing ticket prices and those ever-loving service fees that are also tacked on. Ugh. With that being said, it does need to be pointed out that ticket prices have, in general, been skyrocketing on their own due to a number of factors like the popularity of artists, fan demand, and the artist's increased reliance on tour income with the ever-declining market for record sales. As for service fees, Ticketmaster has stated that they no longer set the finalized fee. Rather, they negotiate it with the venue operators or even the promoters. But there's also an issue with that. With Live Nation pushing for this all-in-one concert-going experience, there are times when they can potentially act as the venue operator, promoter, or even the band manager. At that point, while Ticketmaster isn't technically setting the finalized fee, they are essentially negotiating it with Live Nation, who they merged with. With Live Nation being so large and heavily dependent on these ticket service fees, the only thing that could really keep these fees in check is a healthy competition on the scene, which there really isn't a lot of. I mean, there's some of them, but there really isn't a lot. And this raises the question of whether competition in the ticketing in major venues is being blocked. Now, the question of whether Live Nation is purposefully blocking competition by threatening boycotts on venues that don't sign on with them is definitely being asked. AEG, who is Live Nation's chief competition, claims that Live Nation is doing just that a number of times. They claim that in one case in Atlanta in 2013, Live Nation passed over Gwinnett Center after they replaced their Ticketmaster service with AEG service. Live Nation claims that this wasn't the case and that it was ultimately the size capacity of the venue that was the determining factor. But with that being said, the following year, the Gwinnett Center saw their Live Nation shows cut in half from 4 to 2. It does also need to be mentioned for both unbiased reasons and because I actually wanted to talk about the story back last month but never actually got the chance to. AEG is also in a bit of hot water themselves over antitrust violations. They were actually sued by Ozzy Osbourne last month, who claimed that they tried to bar him from playing the O2 Arena in London if he didn't play Staples Center in Los Angeles, to which AEG responded that this was a policy that was put in place in response to Live Nation steering concerts to a rival Los Angeles venue called the Forum. Now, there's a lot more details around this whole thing, and I'll leave it down below in a link for the story. And definitely check it out if you want to, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Live Nation is too big right now? Do you think that competition is going to be able to thrive in this kind of situation? Leave the comments down below. Moving on, the Faceless is back in the news again, and they're doing something rather strange. They have announced tour dates. Yep, tour dates. Only 6 of them, though, but 2 of them are taking place towards the end of the month. And, I mean, Michael Keane is either insane or has known for quite a while that his bandmates were just going to up and bail on him. And for those of you who are just joining this conversation, basically all his band members left the group last month, blaming Keane's heroin addiction as the source of the band's problem with them constantly missing tour dates. If you guys are interested in checking out those dates, they will be down below. Though I want to say that I'm hopeful, but I'm not really. Galactic Empire, the band that does Star Wars covers in metal format, has announced their second album, simply titled Episode 2, and the release date is set to, of course, May 4th, because, you know, May the 4th be with you. Anyways, the announcement of this they've also put out a new song called Scarezzo for X-Wings, which you guys can check out below. The Word Alive has announced that they will be releasing their new album, Violent Noise, on May 4th. With it, they've also released a new song called Red Clouds. Check that out below, along with pre-order bundles. Blessthefall has given us a great new music video for their song Sleepless in Phoenix, which is a great song that has really emphasized the vocal prowess of the band. And it's actually a great song, though I do have to say, the music video is kind of random as shit. I did enjoy it, though. Check it out below if you're interested. Impending Doom has released their first song in like 5 years. The song is called Wrtetched and Godless. Check that out below if you guys are interested. Bullet for My Valentine has released their new song Over It, which is off their upcoming album Gravity, which is set to be released on June 29th. And looks rather colorful for anything I've ever seen from Bullet for My Valentine. And this song is definitely not any Waking the Demon. But I guess this fits into what Matthew Tuck has been saying about this being a new beginning for the band. Either way around, it sounds great, so I'm definitely interested in hearing more. Check it out below if you guys are interested as well. Jasta, aka Jamie Jasta of Hatebreed, has put out a new music video for his song Chasing Demons with Light the Torch's frontman Howard Jones. Both of these dudes are probably some of my favorite vocalists in the metal scene, so already I was expecting something just pure badass, and guess what? I was not disappointed. Check it out below if you guys are interested. Bad Wolves, the band that features the former members of Divine Heresy, God Forbid, Devil Driver, In This Moment, and Bury Your Dead, and also the band that put out that amazing cover of the Cranberry Zombie, has released their new song called Better the Devil, which I have to say is quite different from the cover that they did, and it's totally awesome. Kataklysm has released their vicious new song called Guillotine, which is just a horrid beauty. I'm actually new to this band. Like, I know that they've been out for quite a while, but I don't think I've ever really gotten a chance to really sit down and appreciate their music. And I've got to say, now that I did, I'm actually impressed. I want to hear more. Anyways, if you guys are also interested in checking out the song, it will, of course, be down below in the description as well. And finally, and things that were awesome, I finally got to see Ready Player One, and let me tell you guys right now, it was fantastic. It had me euphoric once I left the movie theater. It was a great movie. You know, it gave me those feels that I felt when I was a little kid watching Star Wars for the first time with the excitement and stuff like that. But it also had the emotional value to it. Now, I have made it very abundantly clear, if you guys have been with the channel for a while, that the book was interesting, but I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. What Steven Spielberg did with this movie, it gave me everything that I was asking from the book. You know, I wanted the Oasis to be this character that I fell in love with. You know, the Oasis just be this place that you want to go to. And Steven Spielberg delivered on that tenfold. You know, he took the most boring parts of the book, and he threw those out the window, and then just added these beautifully context storylines into it that just they were perfect. They worked great. You know, it was just a great movie. I'm not going to spoil anything else for you guys, but if there's definitely a movie you guys should go check out, it's definitely Ready Player One. I thought it was fantastic. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me for this episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe if you want more, share if you want to help the channel, and I will see you all on the next one. Mars out.